Hey, it's your fertility goddess Rhonda here again, here with another metaphysical tip and trick to help you improve your metaphysical life. So now we are at part 3 of our Love Magic series. In part 1, we used our pendulum to unweave any damage that was done to us in our previous relationships and to weave back in those positive thoughts and feelings about ourselves that we might feel that we've lost through the conclusion of those relationships. In part 2, we made a custom action plan designed to bring you your perfect person, your twin flame, the person who resonates with you, and that will grow harmoniously in your relationship. And now it's time for us to make our love talisman and weave it all together. So for this, we are going to need the action plan that you made last week. And if you haven't seen the other videos, I suggest you look at those first, part 1 and part 2, and then come back to this one to begin to weave everything together. So again, we're going to need our action plan. We're going to need one of my favorite things to work with, which is Play-Doh, in this case pink. I've got these great apple cinnamon tea light candles that you can just get at the dollar store. Why apple and cinnamon? Because apple represents Venus and cinnamon represents Mars. So it'll bring in that fire, that passion, that strong love energy. I've got a pinch of cinnamon, and I've also got, I don't know if you can see it, a few drops of geranium oil that also represents love and Venus. And I just put the drops on the plate because I'm going to be working them into the Play-Doh with my fingers. So we're going to put some of this stuff to the side right now because we don't really need it right this very second. So now you'll also notice that I used pink Play-Doh because to me pink represents love and fertility and Venus. But you can use whatever color represents love to you. Everything needs to be custom to you. So since I feel that pink is very romantic and loving, I've got a pink paper for the action plan, and I've got pink Play-Doh, and I also have these little gemstones that you can get pretty much at any craft store. And again, to me, their colors represent something. So I've got orange for a successful relationship. I've got blue to bring peace so that there's not a lot of drama, because I don't like drama. We've got green for Venus. We've got purple for Jupiter to expand all this loving energy. And again, these colors are colors that I associate with. Use the colors that you associate with the things that you're trying to bring into your relationship so that it carries that custom energy of yours. So now typically when we begin to do something, I would suggest that we empower each and everything that we're going to use with the energy of what it is we're trying to accomplish. But one of the awesome things about weaving with a pendulum is that you can empower everything all at once, and it will have the same equal amount of energy. So to empower your items, your components, with the energy that you're trying to bring into the relationship, get your pendulum going at in a clockwise circle, and it'll just go by itself. You don't have to worry about continuously swinging it. It's easier if you have your elbow on the table, but I'm trying not to shake my table, so I've got my elbow up. So while you've got your pendulum swinging in the clockwise circle, because we are weaving in those energies that we are trying to project, look at your action plan and read it. Read each and everything on the first page of who you're trying to bring in, what are their personal aspects that you desire. Go ahead to the second page, read what makes them tick, and then to the third page, what makes you tick, so that it resonates together. Don't worry about the fourth page, which is about the things that you're working on to improve. You don't need to weave that in. You just want to weave in the aspects of this person that you're trying to bring in, what makes them tick, and then what also makes you tick, so that it is harmonious. When your pendulum has finished empowering all the items, it will stop on its own. But at least by you reading your action plan while you're weaving with your pendulum, that energy will equally go into all of the components so that it's all equally charged with your wonderful energy and your empowering thoughts. And while you're looking at your action plan, be aware of your hand holding the pendulum so that that energy goes through your hand and into the pendulum. And use your dominant hand as well so that it's extra energy going in. So for the purpose of expedience, I'm not going to sit here and let it keep weaving until it's done. And this is just an action plan with squiggly lines on it anyway, because it's just here for our demonstration purposes. So after we've finished weaving everything in, we can put our action plan to the side for now, and our little gemstones, because they will come later on. So now what we're going to do is we're going to begin manipulating our empowered Play-Doh. I love Play-Doh. It just takes me back to when I was a little kid, and you can just create and all your wonderful energies are flowing through. So now what you want to do, I've got a couple of pinches of cinnamon here. So just take a couple of pinches and sprinkle them on to your Play-Doh, remembering that they also are empowered. And again, you're thinking about this wonderful person that's coming into your life as you work the cinnamon into the Play-Doh. And I'm moving kind of quickly because, you know, I try to keep these things as short as possible. Please take your time. Think about who you want. Let those energies flow through your fingers and into the Play-Doh. Next, I'm going to scoop up some of this awesome geranium oil. And again, that represents Venus and love. Now, if there's another oil that you want to use that to you represents love, rose, lavender, whatever it is that resonates love to you, go ahead and use that. And then with the remnants of the cinnamon and the oil, go ahead and rub them into the plate, because we're going to use this plate to weave over, and so this way it will still contain all those marvelous energies. So now go back to your Play-Doh, and again continually thinking of this wonderful new love that's coming into your life. Go ahead and work in the oils and the cinnamon. You only want to use a couple of drops of oil because this is going to dry out, and you want to not put too much oil because you don't want to interfere with that process. So now once you've got everything worked in, you can take your Play-Doh and make a ball out of it, and then begin to form it into the shape of a heart. And again, I'm moving quickly because I don't want you to have to sit and watch a really long video. I like to keep everything right short to the point so that you can do what you need to do and move on with your day. Okay, so now that you've made your heart, it doesn't have to be perfect. You know, some people will make a better heart than this one, but that's okay. It's got the energy that I want in it. It's been empowered and it's ready to roll. So now that you've made your heart, and also I used a half a container of Play-Doh, but you can make your heart as big or as small as you want it to be. If you want to make a big giant heart, go right ahead, or if you only have a little room to work with, you can just make a small one. It will still be nice and powerful for you. So now that you've got your little Play-Doh heart made, there, that's better. Now you can press in your gemstones so that it's bejeweled. And as this dries, the gemstones will become more embedded in the heart and continue to project out that energy that you have programmed them for. And again, you can use the colors that resonate with you. You can use as many gems as you like in the colors and shapes that you like. I saw some today, they're already in a heart shape if you want to use heart-shaped gems. And whatever colors you want to use, however you want to do your design, there is no wrong way. And then you can, after you do the one side, flip it over and do both sides. And you can also even do, if you're really creative and you have the time, you can also stud the sides of your heart with gemstones. I'm just going to do both sides of this because I'm just trying to give you an idea. Everything we do, I would love it if you would just make it all custom to you and what it is that you want to do, because it needs to be about you and what you're trying to bring into your life. Got a few extra ones here, so we're just gonna press them in. You want it to look nice too, so there we go. We'll just have it like that. I'll move this one up a little so that it's a little bit more even. And again, like I said, you can stud the sides of it, you can fill it with gemstones, however you want to work it to make it custom to you. So now that you've got that done, you can put it back on your plate. Give your gemstones an extra little push to make sure that they're embedded well, so that as it dries, it will dry around the gemstones and, further strengthen their bond with your empowered talisman. So now bring your candle back, and what you're going to do, you want to also use a small candle because you're going to be weaving. And so with a big candle, it can be difficult because you've got to kind of get around it. With a small candle, it's a lot easier. So now what you're going to do, and of course, light your candle. I, alas, have forgotten my lighter, and since I've already made the talisman, I don't want to start all over again. But you get the idea. Go ahead and light your candle. Remember, you've already empowered everything. So your multitasking pendulum has saved you a lot of work. So now get your pendulum going to weave it all together. Get your pendulum going again in a clockwise motion. And then what you're going to do is, as it's going, you're going to read your action plan. You're going to read all of the aspects that you're trying to bring into the relationship, the aspects of that person, what it is that makes them tick, reinforcing again what makes you tick so that it's all harmonious. Again, don't worry about the fourth page. Read the first page, the second page, the third page while you're weaving. And all that energy is going through the candle and your talisman. And as you're reading this, again, keep it some awareness. Don't focus, just an awareness on your hand so that the energy flows through into the pendulum and into your talisman. Now again, the pendulum is going to stop on its own, and you can go ahead and just let the candle continue to burn. Now what you're going to do is, after your candle is all done and now your talisman is going to start drying, and it's going to take a few days depending on how thick you have made it. It might take a few days for it to totally dry out. That's okay. You can just remember every once in a while to turn it over so that it will dry evenly. And then what you're going to do is each day, and luckily our new moon is about to start in a couple of days, which is the perfect time for you to do this, to bring the new love into your life. Every day I want you to weave over it. Now I'm not asking you to sit every day for half an hour in weaving. Even if you just weave for 5 minutes a day and looking at your action plan as you do it, that is going to continuously reinforce the energy that you're putting out to attract your twin flame. And that is what this is all about, is to bring that perfect person to you, the one who is going to be with you in harmony, in peace, supportive, a spiritual connection, a mental connection, a physical connection, everything, or at least almost everything that you desire in a partner is what you're going to accomplish by doing this. You've made your talisman, you've made your action plan, you have healed and removed the damages that were done to you, you've restored your confidence, and now you're weaving it all together to harvest the fruit of your labors. And, as you know, I believe that we are all divine beings with the ability to bless each other and ourselves. So I bless you with the ability to bring in your wonderful, perfect twin flame partner. And I ask you please to pass that blessing on to someone else who may also need it. So this has been your fertility goddess, Rhonda here again with another metaphysical tip and trick to help you improve your metaphysical life. Thank you so much for watching me. Please visit my website at www.healinghanagoddess.com, and thank you again. Please share this with a friend. Namaste.